going to take the photo. And we're recording, by the way. There's audio as well, just for...
Video and audio.
Okay, this should
We are
work.
actually recording.
Very nice, very nice. And... Photo taken. Grand.
Lovely.
You look majestic. And how do we use that? Great. Tweet. Okay, so... Sitting down with...
You do one of yourself.
I could do a second one, I suppose. With the Chris Ray for a new episode. This is compelling audio. Oh,
This is going to make it to the final cut. This.
Big Punch Classic.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
And we're tweeted.
Tweet.
Did it go? Yes, it went.
Let's
Beauty of Wi-Fi.
assume it's gone unless we hear otherwise.
Well, there we go. And what better note to start the show? Hello and welcome to another
Oh,
compelling...
we're actually using that.
Why the hell not? It's
Oh,
raw.
fine.
You've barely been in the house 5 minutes and
That's fine.
you have a beer in hand. You're
I have a
wearing
beer
a
in my
comfy
hand.
sweater.
It is a very comfortable sweater, this.
Are you a big sweater wearer?
In the winter, I am. I'm not a shorts and t-shirt man in December, if that's what you're asking.
Ooh.
What are you drinking, John?
Well, I'm drinking a Sam Adams.
Always a good
Always
decision.
a good decision.
That tagline wrote itself.
The first beer or first alcohol I've even looked at following the wedding. Oh dear.
Well, you were ill, as you just said to me.
I was definitely.
Off air.
The thing is, I know for a fact I was hungover on the Sunday.
Yes.
I was pretty badly hungover. I felt terrible on the Monday, and I thought, oh good grief, is this a 48-hour hangover? This ain't good.
Oh, I've been there, though.
But I think it was actually a bug because me and Lucy have both been quite ill the last few days. I reckon it was just mingling with all those people.
It's probably, you're catching all their germs.
Trainers, filthy friends, ruining it for the rest of us. The wedding we're referring to is the union of our good friends Will Train
It's very
and
nice use of the word
Page?
union. Liz Page.
Liz Page, yeah, in matrimony.
Don't use their real names.
Oh my god, yeah. L Page and
and
no, that's too obvious.
Oh no, that's too obvious. Let's call her Liz P.
And yeah, we are best men.
Along with the guy who's on the cover
men.
of the podcast,
Yeah,
but has yet to appear.
Yeah,
He's a myth, I think. That Holden.
the only evidence we have of him existing is a cartoon likeness of him on the on the
Do you think
cover.
he's always been a figment of our imagination? Because that would explain an awful lot.
It's a bit Fight Clubby.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it's all coming together now.
But yeah, wedding and sorry, I mean, consequence, rambling thoughts. End of a long week, and I'm holding a beer. Thank you for bringing beer.
No, that's
over.
quite all
It's
right.
very
I stopped
nice.
by the drinks stop, as it's called, on the way here. You offered me a tea, and I got beer out of my bag. And when we ditched the tea,
I was all ready to brew as a hot drink and a coffee.
No, I also haven't had a beer since the wedding, although I wasn't hungover, which is unusual.
Thing is, I felt really good drunk. You know what I mean?
I felt I've got a good level of drunk going on. I felt by the end.
Oh, definitely, me too. And you know, like,
Although I was very tired.
really,
Because we've been running around all day.
we had been. It was
And the day before.
and the day before, indeed. I mean, I was surprised how good I felt actually, because because I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes like you can go out and it's a quiet evening, you have a couple of pints, and you think, oh, well, I feel a bit.
No,
That's
I
enough
was
for me.
the only time I got tired was when the lights went up and we started packing away and all that.
Well-
like the good best men we were.
That was the only point at which.
When we got back to the hotel, I pretty much just zonked
Yeah.
out straight away.
That was the only point at which I was like, oh, now I'm drunk. Like,
Moving furniture.
Yeah.
That's always sensible.
well, it was
It's
like.
safe to be moving these heavy items.
The thing is, like, we started drinking at like midday-ish. Give or take. When did the actual?
Well, I'd actually had a beer earlier than that,
Oh, I see.
but I had a long gap
When did you have that beer?
in the hotel.
In the morning?
It was about 11 o'clock.
You had a beer at. Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Oh, yeah, but that's it.
dedication.
My drinking until the speeches were done
You've got a
was
greasy,
very, very sparse.
It was.
In fact,
yeah.
I didn't feel any kind of drunk whatsoever
No.
until after the speeches.
You know, I think this has to go hand in hand with like just how lovely the day was. But I think sometimes I get a thing where sometimes it's like if it's a big event and I know there's alcohol going to be around all day, I worry about maybe I don't want to peak too soon.
I think it's very, very hard unless
Yeah.
you really, really try to
Yeah.
get drunk at an all-day event. Like really,
Yeah.
like to the extent where you have to go home. Certainly at a wedding, If you do it at a wedding, to be frank, you don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
If you get that drunk,
You maybe have a problem.
yes, you should probably consult someone.
It was for me. It was a perfect combination of ready supply of alcohol, but not too much.
Yeah, I had.
Because it started with the special cocktails.
Oh, that was very
Yeah.
nice. I surprisingly enjoyed that.
I didn't think I would like it, but I loved it quite a bit.
The rum was very good, and I must look up the name of that rum because it was excellent.
Kraken.
Is that what it was?
I'll tell you that.
Thank
It was
you.
Kraken.
It was excellent.
Did you have any neat? Or
I did have one neat, and I had some rum and cokes also
Ah.
after the cream soda had run out.
Actually, come think of it. Where were you getting the bar?
There was a bar.
Oh, good grief. It's like-
Come on, John.
It's like I'm trying to.
You
think.
were that wedding guest who got too drunk during the day.
But I'm trying to
You
think
went home at 4.
There was always
You were moving furniture around. We had to send you home.
there was always alcohol in my hand. I just suddenly had a moment where I'm like, where did it come from? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
But I, you know, when you think, oh, at a wedding, and you get told the itinerary and all this,
Yeah.
and at one point I thought, oh, 2 hours is quite a while to be mingling and whatever and taking photos. My God, that flew by. That 2 hours.
Because that was like 2 hours from them actually getting married.
That was the ceremony to the sit down
meal.
dinner,
Yeah.
wedding breakfast. I believe they call it.
Really?
That's what they call it because it's the first meal after you got married.
Oh, I see. Right. It's
that's
always
what they call
all these traditions. But no, we kind of found out because it was in like a village hall, like this old Tudor village.
The cool
hall.
village hall.
It was really cool, actually. And we spent much of the Friday helping
Wow.
the bride and groom family set it up.
Ish, yeah.
Well, you were running around in a van. with
I was in a
Trainer. You were
van
doing important
for
stuff as
about
well.
3 hours
Yeah.
with Trainer.
Yeah,
Nothing
'cause
happened.
Because we came down from Cheltenham that day. Me and Lucy got in at like 3 in the afternoon, I want to say.
Yeah, I was there probably 3:30,
And I was worried that
something like
we'd missed all the action.
that.
I figured, they're all.
It was very organised, to be fair.
all
I
of
left
it,
on
yeah.
the Friday thinking it's nearly done this.
Like a well.
And the wedding I was best man at previously, we weren't even nearly done.
remember you
the
saying-
night before. We're not even nearly done.
Well, we were when you and Holton, who does exist, I swear, and Trainer went off
We
in the
think he
minivan
exists.
to grab stuff. It
Yes.
was me, Lucy, and Liz, and kind of the groom's parents and the bride's parents.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
I
and-
didn't see a lot of people because I was in a van.
And it was just like we're close family, and we were just all setting stuff up. So we were putting batteries in fake candle.
Oh,
lights.
yes. They ran out almost immediately.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked at how
It's a
quickly.
futile effort.
It's funny, isn't it, how those incredibly shoddy things burnt out very quickly. But we were hanging glitter curtains, putting up posters.
They looked impressive, the glitter curtains. I'll give you that.
I've got to say they were
They were
quite
a
impressive.
triumph, John.
There was a point where it was like, how many graduates does it take to put up glitter curtains? And the answer is 3.
3 is
Yeah.
the definitive answer on that.
2 just wasn't enough. It just weren't cutting
Yeah,
it.
it is a 3-person job. It turns out. I didn't actually see you do much of it because, I was in a van.
We made it work.
There wasn't a lot in that van at any point.
The
It was
van
just
was maybe unnecessary.
Ferrying. Well, I'm sure it was necessary earlier in the day, but at that point, most of it had been done. We were taking dresses and some boxes of booze, but there wasn't a lot. It was fairly straightforward as a process.
And we stayed at the venue.
Let's get some safety pins.
And I compared surgery scars with Bob.
Did you?
I did indeed.
How did you rate?
Father of the groom.
How do you rank against Bob?
Oh, I don't compare.
No.
Bob's had like a new hip. He's had like he's had surgery on that.
And you had your appendix out.
Yeah, I've had my appendix
Yeah, it's not
out,
quite
yeah.
the same.
We were comparing notes to some extent. I didn't realise that fun little fact. If you have a hip replacement, because I know both my granddads have had
Is that right?
hip replacements. Obviously, they have to cut in.
Of course,
do a business.
Sure.
They do it with your leg almost up behind your neck. Like
I'd rather not know.
yeah.
Although I'm sure they probably go through it with you.
But he was
before they
saying
do it.
also-
they break your leg then.
They dislocate it.
Yeah,
Because you don't need it anyway. That
Yeah.
hip's going.
you're asleep to be fair.
Yeah, and then whip your. that's what you
Yeah, I
wanna-
don't like the sound of
No.
that. If I'm honest, I can't do that now.
No, I don't want to see how flexible my leg is when my hip.
I'd
is
rather not. I'd
dislocated.
rather not know. I'd rather not know.
But
Too late.
Well, Bob was saying they were going to just do it under local.
Oof.
Like I don't care if
Oh.
I'm not. I don't want to be awake.
No,
when,
I even if it doesn't hurt, I do not want to be awake while my leg. When I can scratch my ear with my toe, I don't ever want to be awake.
It's not.
That's just a rule for life. Never mind it being an operation. Just generally
You wake
speaking,
up, you come to, and
if
that's,
my toe is by my ear, something's gone horribly wrong.
I don't want to talk talk about?
I don't want to talk about how it happened. Just fix it.
We can only move forward, all right? We can't dwell on how we
can't.
got to this point.
How it happened is not important. Just fix it.
We just have to focus on a
Doctor.
I don't want to tell you your business.
Yeah. But you can see there's a problem here.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, I didn't know that, obviously, as I'm now making jokes about it.
But, yeah, that was all grand. And then we, the bride and groom obviously parted ways.
Totes emotion, that one.
And
I didn't actually see that.
We all hopped in cars and headed over to their house, didn't we?
We did.
We were
very nice. It's like the TARDIS, their house.
It was lovely. I forgot that they actually owned it. You know,
so did I.
Had a mortgage and all that.
Yeah, responsible adults.
But it was lovely, and
I liked it very much.
We had a very chilled evening eating pizza. And
bloody hell, they were big pizzas.
They really were, actually.
Jesus.
Eyes were big. But I had pizza for breakfast. I forgot about that.
I had pizza for breakfast.
Oh, man, that was
and then a bacon and sausage sandwich. It was a very healthy weekend.
I think he's right. You know, I've had some, digestive problems.
I'm aware of it. Yes, I'm aware.
I won't go into it. But
feet by your head.
I find that events, going to stuff like this, can be quite kind of stressful for me, and it can kind of aggravate my old gut. But actually, none of this happened at all, and I had the most chilled and wonderful kind of day. And even this is on top of looking after the rings as well, which you'd think would be...
you were the ring bear.
Ring bear.
And you were standing awkwardly at the back of the room for about half an hour, which I enjoyed very much.
Oh, I'm glad, yeah.
I was on the stage just sitting in my chair.
Because the hall had like 2 entrances. One by the stage at the front and one at the back.
One was technically the emergency exit.
True.
Technically.
But everyone was packed in so tightly that you couldn't walk from one end of the hall to the other.
It would have been a massive disturbance to have done so.
Oh, incredibly so. And I was at the back of the hall guarding the rings, which was on like this little
plinth. Yeah, is what I would call it.
Because they had this really cool idea where they wanted everyone
that was nice,
to touch the rings and kind of like infer
giving a blessing,
some
so
germs and warmth and goodwill.
Spread their germs around.
Run it under your gums for a bit. And,
yeah.
But then when Liz arrived, the bride, I had to leg it out, go round.
You had to swap with one of the ushers, basically.
Essentially, yeah. And
that's essentially what happened.
But then, I guess you call it the bride and groom's parties were all on the stage, weren't we? So all the best men.
Well, they were originally going to have it outside, but the weather was actually all right in the end. But prior to the wedding was crap.
Yeah, we had a bit of a downpour just for like half an hour.
But then the actual rest afterwards, it was fine.
Yeah, and then we all go up on stage. Great. I mean, I've been to a few weddings now, and I honestly think this is one of the best, if not the best, I've been to. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, the ceremony itself was excellent.
Yeah,
they had a stand-up comedian essentially
doing because it wasn't a religious.
He was very good.
But yeah, just this lovely guy, really nice chap, doing some jokes, just kind of very heartwarming as well. The vows
they nearly got me. I'll tell you, I was right in the.
I was welling up.
Chesticles, I was.
Yeah. It was just really genuine and well done. And then
it was nice.
Then we all file out, and then it's photos and
then it was I didn't know what the hell I was doing during photos. I had to grab someone's arm. Can you just grab her arm? What?
Layout.
I thought it looked really weird.
Well, layout was very important, wasn't it? You had to kind of like
but then you had to, as you would if you sort of link in arms with someone.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really strange. I've never seen that in wedding photos. I thought you just sort of stood there with your hands behind your back.
But also
in front of you.
Well, yeah, we were standing with our hands in front of us, and then he was like, "No, raise it up. Like you have to kind of hug your belly. Don't." I guess it looks good. We haven't seen the picture.
Oh, I'm sure it'll look fine. At the time, it felt very awkward.
But talking about like booze and food and stuff, that's when they served the special cocktails.
Yes, it was
called a cream crackered. They'd come up with it. Which
was very nice. I forgot how nice cream soda was, actually.
Well, here's the thing. I never liked cream soda.
I liked it.
Until
it had rum in it.
Until it had rum in it.
Good rum, though.
It was fantastic, actually.
No, it was nice. I had at least one, maybe 2 of those.
I had
probably 2.
I had a couple of those and a champagne.
Did you?
I did.
Not
champagne, like Prosecco.
Yeah, I didn't have it. I had another rum. I thought I'd supplement my rum with more rum.
It was delightful. And then all the photos are done, and then we all file in for the meal.
Yeah, I had about half an hour just to have a chat with people after all that, which was cool.
It was nice because that's when the mingling happened.
Yeah, and then it was back into the hall for a 3-course meal.
Oh, the canapes.
Oh, the canapes were nice, weren't they?
I was trying to get that guy's eye. You know that thing where,
Well,
like,
I took the wise decision of standing by the door eventually.
Right.
So whenever he came out, I was the first person he saw.
Do you think? I reckon. He said. I reckon we endeared ourselves to the catering staff.
Do you?
I reckon because also like Ronnie.
He was a cool guy.
Rono, hero
to
of the
his
night.
Mates. Rono to his mates.
I guess it was like the catering manager.
He came up to me and I can't remember who. Said, anything you need, come see me.
Hmm.
Said, you don't know what I want, yeah?
I was chatting to him like all night, or rather like any time there was a decision.
Yeah.
I'm sure he found other people, but Trainer and Liz were busy. Obviously, it was their wedding.
Yeah.
And he'd run up to me because I think he got into his head that I knew what I was doing.
To be fair, you were in the darker suit, which more matched Trainer's.
Well,
so you probably looked like, and you had the rings. So you probably looked like chief best man,
which kind of was just
which was fine by me, to be frank.
Which was not the case.
I was having a dance. But that's fine.
But he would come over and say stuff like, "So what we're going to do is we're going to serve the puddings, and then the entertainment will start, and that's the plan, right?" And I'd be like,
"That was the plan."
Yes, and that's the thing.
I can confirm as the guy he didn't ask that. Yes, that was the plan.
But it was like, it wasn't a case of giving him the right answer. Because I didn't know it.
Just give him an
He just
answer.
needed an answer.
As long as you don't completely cock it up.
Yeah, I didn't tell him.
Nobody really cares at that point.
It's over. It's a sham.
Yeah. No.
Trainer got his green card.
They're too busy to care. It doesn't really matter to us as long as we get our dessert.
The thing is, like on the Friday before, we were setting up the fairy lights. We were hanging fairy lights.
I missed this part, which was very sad.
We went to a lot of effort putting fairy lights around. Like,
didn't bloody work.
Well, here's the thing: it didn't work. And because
that was because the thing was broken.
We lent the extension cable to the kitchen folk.
Oh, they broke it.
And then it came back and it wasn't working.
They broke it. I didn't know that.
But later,
I knew it was broken. I didn't know they'd broken it.
Later in the evening, at one point, because I think me and Ronnie got a bit of a report, and he was rocking a hat.
Yeah, he did. He looked like a gangster.
He looked pretty dapper in a suit and a hat. And he comes up and goes, "I think we solved your problem." And me and him went on a mission to connect all the cables with new cables, and we got it working. And it was, and I think he was just getting really into it.
Come on,
Ronnie! And we were just like running down the corridor, like high fiving each other as we went by.
You sounds like you got quite a rapport with him. I didn't get nearly as much of a rapport.
Well, when we came in on a Sunday morning to clean up, mind you, it had all been done by the time we arrived. But Ronnie was like, "Hey," and we shook hands.
That's
and
nice,
all that.
isn't it?
So
that's pleasant.
Making friends. He was telling me his life story.
Was he?
That was the point when I realised the last beer of the night was a mistake. It was when we just finished clearing up, and I'm standing in the centre of a hall, enjoying the beer, but thinking, the room is starting to spin.
This is one too many.
And Ronnie is telling me his entire life story. And I'm just kind of like swaying gently at this point.
Yeah, that's fascinating, Ronnie.
He's a cool guy, though. But, and then we, everyone took to their tables. Food was served. We were kind of announcing Trainer and Liz coming in.
Oh, yeah. That was unfortunate.
But Trainer had run off to the toilet.
That was funny.
At that point. Like the music.
It's funnier when things go wrong, but not disastrously wrong.
It wasn't terribly wrong. It was a perfect moment. Like
it was very funny.
The music started.
You go, no, he's in the toilet.
Oh, no.
Cut the music.
Kill it. He drank too much. He's having a slash.
Cut these. Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, I guess the only downside to the meal, and this is not a problem at all, was simply that we were right by the door.
Yes.
And it was freezing.
Well, that was needs must.
Yeah.
You were near the door. I was fine.
Well, food was nice, aside from those flipping peppers, which were the hottest thing.
Well, we discussed whether you received a different pepper to the one I had, because I was fine.
Maybe it's like Russian roulette. You're meant to kind of take a gamble.
The one I had was absolutely fine.
Me and Holland were dying.
Yeah.
It was really... What was it? It was like... It
was just pepper stuffed with cheese and battered.
Yeah. And then there was a massive, like, wedge of melted cheese. No, well, you can't get a wedge of melted cheese, can you? It's just like a great big blob of liquid cheese.
It was a bit like chicken in
really
terms of the texture, anyway.
Was it not? What do you get on a pizza? Is it mozzarella?
Yeah, it was mozzarella cheese.
It's a great big... It was smoked mozzarella.
Whatever it was.
I know, but it's like... It looked like liquid, but Liz had to carve it like a turkey to get kind of chunks off it.
It took a bit of effort to cut it open.
Yeah.
Or not open.
It was good, though.
Apart.
It was nice. And then what was the main course? It was...
It was like a roast lamb dinner.
Yeah.
Sort of.
With like some fancy stuff.
With some sauce, which I still don't know what it was.
It was nice, though.
Yeah. No, it was good. And then what did we have for dessert?
It was like a...
two cakes. Two different cakes.
Yeah. And everything they served was like... They just they brought.
It was like a 50% table service, 50% buffet.
Yeah. So
It's
they were
how
like,
I
for
describe it.
starters, it was kind of like this is it. You can have like the cheese. You can have.
As it turned out, we had a bit of everything.
It was like that's the thing, isn't it? You think like, oh, which one do I
But
choose?
it's probably a good way to do it because
Yeah.
not everyone's going to want A, B, C. Are
Fancy Scotch eggs.
they were nice.
They were lovely,
Chorizo
yeah.
Scotch eggs. They were.
It was a wedding of firsts. I never cared for Scotch eggs until today.
No, I don't really like Scotch eggs.
But they were good. Chorizo.
Well, they were quail's eggs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Posh eggs.
Oh, were they? I guess
Those
they
were
were
quail
small,
eggs.
Yeah.
And it was chorizo, and then breadcrumbs. So that's a produced whatever. I don't know.
That's a thing.
It was nice though.
It was well good. I loved it.
I love chorizo, so that helped.
Chorizo.
Chorizo.
It was lovely, actually. And then and then kind of like the pudding was served and the entertainment started. And can you remember his name? But the compere Nick. There we go. He was like the bride's mate,
Yes.
kind of like friend of a bride.
Very good.
He was fantastic.
He was excellent.
Yeah, like
Very funny.
pinstripe suit, bow tie, very dry, kind of sardonic, and it was an afternoon of an evening of entertainment.
It was, and he had I suppose they were his friends or contacts. They were like a group, I suppose.
Young,
good-looking people.
young buck. I've got to say,
made me feel very, very self-conscious.
when they charged on stage and started doing a Michael Jackson number, I was
yeah,
like, flipping heck.
what's this? The third one they did was excellent.
Yes.
I thought that was excellent.
I was trying to describe it to someone. It's very hard to describe, but they did a Michael Jackson cover.
They did a dance.
They did like a kind of
They did a song.
They did that harmony, like a kind of 1930s like swing song in harmony, and then they did like it's very hard to describe, like a comedy.
It was like a comedy.
song
Yeah,
sketch.
I suppose that's what you call it.
Very good.
It was good.
It's very good.
It was good.
And then in between,
It was a speech interspliced, and in between each act.
was it Keith, father of the bride?
Was it Keith? Yeah. Oh, let's go with Keith.
No, really.
Oh God, this was.
Yeah.
I lost. I know what you're gonna say.
Well,
you tell it.
Well, the first speech of the day.
This was brilliant.
Was from father of a bride, Keith, and I've been chatting to him earlier, and he was just a genuinely really nice guy.
Yeah, he was a
like,
nice bloke,
unassuming,
yeah.
very funny. But he came up and he did a genuinely really good speech, and everyone's kind of like, "Oh, this is charming. It's kind of like funny, laughing at the right bits." And then at one point, he just said something like,
"Oh God!"
And remember our family dog now, and she's a Shih Tzu, and this one guy at the back. This one guy.
Oh God!
This one guy at the back.
That was honestly my favourite moment of the entire day.
That was beautiful.
It was brilliant
Because he absolutely lost his mind.
It was just one laugh at the back of the room, and I couldn't stop laughing.
That's the thing, because
I went completely.
But this is why it was a beautiful human moment, because he was losing his mind. Everyone else started laughing.
Thing is,
well.
you know when you think that is funny, he says Shih Tzu, it's funny in a really immature way, and then someone laughs, and you think, brilliant, I can go now. But I was crying. I was in tears. Until we went up to do our speech, I was just in bits.
Which was amazing because... And then the next speech, then it was that, then a musical number, then us. And we came on to do the best man speech.
I stopped laughing about 30 seconds before we had to go on stage.
That was wonderful.
Oh, God.
It's like when we came on and we were like, oh, we thought it was going to be a tough crowd, but apparently Shih Tzu is enough to... and of course, we brought the house down.
Yes.
It's being suggested that we actually insert some audio from the best man speech.
Is it?
Into
I've
podcast.
got a video of it. Well, so I put one on Facebook. Should we? Let's assume we're going to edit something.
Yeah.
So I will do the setup, and then you can listen to the payoff.
Yeah. So it's like, and we're going to insert a nice little segment from the best man speech here.
I first met Will. Got to know him at insert anecdote.
The setup to that basically was that there were three of us, and it was a great honour, etc., to have been asked to be best men, but we wanted an elegant solution on how to do a three-way best man speech, and we thought that'd be funny, and it turned out it was.
It was. And that was the joke which opened it.
If you want to see the video, it's on both of our Facebook pages.
Yeah. Could
by the
we,
way.
in full?
I've got the in full version, which I can put on Twitter or something.
No, it's cool.
But that actual clip is on John's Facebook page or my Facebook page.
Because I've only seen the short, little snippet. Which
I have got
a
a longer version.
But I was really pleased with how it went. Actually,
as I said to you when we came off, I came off and I thought, did that go well? And I think I was probably a little hard on myself at the time.
I think
in hindsight, yeah, it did.
I think you probably had like, I don't want to say like survivor's guilt, but you know what I mean? Like a kind of where, because it went off without a hitch, you're kind of thinking, something must have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't.
Well, it was just I wasn't convinced it had at the time. Now that I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And I've watched the video, it's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I think it was great.
I think I was just being over cautious.
Well, no, you're a performer. You believe in doing it right.
Yeah, well, I've done one before and I thought that went well. I did this one. I thought, did that go well? And now I do. Yeah, it went fine.
It's a difficult second album for you.
Well, there you go. How do you beat Anneka Rice?
Well, exactly that.
That was the problem.
See, previously.
Although we gave him a Yoshi.
Yes.
We gave him a Yoshi toy, which went down well. Although it was broken by the end of the night.
Really?
We tried to play with it at the end of the night, and all the kids have been playing with it. And it was on its last legs.
Did you put batteries in beforehand?
No, it was boxed and everything, but there were batteries in the box.
Should we explain? It was like a remote control.
It was like a Mario Kart
Yeah.
remote control toy.
We see, most importantly, I know trainers said afterwards that it moved him to tears.
Yeah,
So
which I didn't know, actually.
no, I didn't know either.
That's probably the nice thing you said. You do sincere very well, John. Me and Holden couldn't have done it. We'd have laughed.
That's why I'm here. I bring the meaningless platitudes.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like I was describing the whole thing to Nick and Ali afterwards, and it's kind of like it was almost set up like a celebrity roast, because Nick,
they were sitting on the stage.
Yeah, Trainer and Liz were sitting to the side, and we were kind of like addressing the audience, but they were there.
I looked at him quite a lot during it because I was
you were
next to
closest.
him.
Yeah. I think it went well. I
yeah,
liked it.
no. Now that I've had time to reflect, I'm fine with it.
I enjoyed it a hell of a lot, actually, and then there was more entertainment, and then Nick the compere did a speech,
Mm-hmm.
and
They then did a speech,
then Will and
/ a
Liz,
comedy routine,
which was really good.
It was good.
It was really good, and
you had the emotional bit, and then you had the funny bit, and
well, it was that perfect blend of the whole thing. Was like, it was halfway between genuine, moments of genuine kind of heartfelt kind of emotion, and you're like, oh, it's getting me, and then a laugh at the end. It was lovely.
It was well
actually.
done.
And
I think they made it up as they went along to a certain extent.
Clearly,
he told me the morning he hadn't got anything really prepared.
Oh yeah, no.
But then he asked me to go get his notebook.
You do it on the night. We had a little meeting on the Friday night, didn't we, on the top floor of Trainer's house, just to cement a few things.
We were in the sewing room.
Yeah, in the sewing room. Yeah,
having our little get together.
What happened to us? We used to be young.
Yeah,
we're
in the sewing room, writing speeches.
Why don't you join me in the upholstery room?
Yeah. Oh yes, of course. Which one?
The angry area.
Upholstery room 1 or upholstery room 2?
I've got to say, Will Trainer. I mean,
to his mates.
Ultimately, it's not about him. It's only his wedding, But he really kind of treated us like he brought us pizza.
Yes, we offered him money.
He gave us pizza.
I did all right out of it, to be honest. I got biscuits the morning after as well. I did pretty well out of it.
Pizza,
got cufflinks,
beer, cufflinks, a thank you card.
Got a sandwich on the Saturday morning.
Yeah, bacon sandwich,
bacon sausage.
What a top guy.
Yeah, I had a whale of a time.
I had a whale of a time, and
I was knackered on Sunday, mind. I got home.
Yeah,
I thought I'll have a quick nap. 4 hours later.
Oh my God.
Oh God, what time is it? I didn't know where I was when I woke up.
Yeah, well,
I was going. Oh, I was saying something that just didn't make any sense.
What was your travel lodge like, anyway?
Fine, travel lodge-esque.
Yeah. Ours was kind of like behind a petrol station. Actually, weird.
It was on a complex near to a McDonald's.
Weird blast from the
which
past.
We went to.
Do you remember our Great British Tour?
No, I don't remember those 2.5 weeks we spent driving around the country, John.
2009.
Refresh my memory.
2009, 16 days?
Probably, yeah.
Drinking every night.
Wow.
1,812
is that what it was?
miles.
It is. You're right. Actually, I can picture the mile.
We drove. We spent 16 days driving all around the country.
Pit stops along the way.
Yeah, visiting friends along the way. Drank every night. Fled several towns. Yeah, but on that trip, did we not visit Trainer?
Yes, we did in Canterbury.
And do you remember when we were leaving Canterbury? We felt we were being stalked by an orange sports car.
Yes.
That service station is where the travel lodge
is. That
was.
Right? There you go. Yes, I do remember
Factoid.
That. We were being stalked by an orange car.
Yeah, we saw it everywhere. We just couldn't escape it.
Following us around. To be fair, a pistachio green Fiat Panda
Yeah, well-
and an orange sports car.
Orange.
Yeah, you're gonna spot
Lexus
each other,
kind of
aren't
thing.
you, to
Yeah,
be
it was a
fair?
natural pairing. But yeah. So I mean, the evening wrapped down. Oh yeah.
And
DJ,
disco dancing.
DJ was good. Disco dancing.
Didn't take requests.
No,
I think he had his own playlist and he was sticking to it.
He did. He played a lot of ska.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
I thought he was very good. Minor criticism, I want to say, maybe like a little bit too much ska. Like maybe
Yeah,
like,
Liz said that actually.
I think he was kind of like he was a fan.
I think it's clear he likes ska.
Yeah, and then he played like some really obscure kind of like 90s like rave tracks.
Yeah.
But he did. I went over and I said, for once I did not request LCD sound system
First time.
ever. But I went over and I said, hey, do you reckon we could get Hey Jude?
We did get Hey Jude.
And he said, don't worry, already got
I'm
it.
on the case.
Already got it.
I'm on the case.
And he played Atomic, which made me very happy because it's one of my all-time favourite
Oh.
dance floor tracks.
Very good.
Love it to bits. And
No, I had a good time dancing. And we saw the improvised Dirty Dancing lift between Snowy and Larry.
Oh God, I missed that.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Is it?
Look it up. It's very funny.
All my life, no.
It's basically Larry jumping into Snowy.
Wow,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I missed that entirely.
Yeah, I think you're out, but there is a video on Facebook.
Jeez Louise. But no, it was lovely, and I liked the fact that I was drinking, having a good time, and yet we were also kind of like doing things. But like we were
I was carrying a massive box of popcorn around. Didn't know where to put it.
You threw it all down Harambe's mouth.
Good old Harambe.
Yeah,
It was in his coat.
I'll puppet. Yeah, I've got some
dare
photos.
you call him a puppet?
I have photos of
Just a lot of photos of
you
us with Harambe.
upending a entire pack of popcorn into Harambe's face.
But it was a big old box. I had to carry it around on my head
I'm very
for
happy
about
for you.
20 minutes. I didn't know where to put it.
Oh, was that like the snacks they put out for people?
Yeah, but you had all the actual popcorn boxes as you would at the cinema.
Yeah.
It was all in that one box. God, it were heavy.
We should say that the whole theme of the wedding was kind of like theatrical drama, the theatre.
Yes.
So every
the arts.
every table was named after a famous.
That was
theatre.
cool. That
It
was cool. I
We've-
liked all those.
The styling was lovely. Like all the seating listings were done up like posters for
Yes.
stage shows.
Which it turns out you had one of them.
yes, indeed. Maybe we can make copies of it or something and
Well, I have a copy of it. It's
Cool.
just not in a frame.
get a frame.
You stole the frame.
I did steal a frame. I'm having that.
My frame.
But we were moving tables out the way. We were kind of like shuffling elderly relatives off to a corner.
Come
So
on, love.
We
Come
need,
on.
we
We need to
that
dance.
table.
We need to dance in this space.
The young folk need to
We need
stretch
to-
their legs.
We need to express ourselves.
Do you remember Emily knocking back the
Yeah.
Emily age like 2.5 or something?
Less than that. 18
Yeah.
months.
But no, it was great. And then we had a great big dance, and right at the end, a bit of a sing song. Hey Jude came on.
Yeah. Bit of a circle as you get at weddings. One of
oh,
those. Link arms for everyone.
I was running around doing my kind of. I was like, there were like little groups of circles, and I was like breaking them up and saying, "No, big circle," and I felt full of human love and
Oh, isn't that
kindness
nice?
and beer, and
That's what you want at a wedding.
it was delightful. I loved every minute of it. I mean, I really did. It was just such a wonderful day.
It's a right good day.
And you know,
right
they're-
good day.
They're a nice couple.
They are.
I mean, I love Trainer, and I think my love for him was only cemented
Oh, isn't that
throughout
lovely?
the weekend. And Liz is wonderful. They are absolutely perfect for each other.
Wonderful stuff.
Do you want to, on that soppy
We'll have a
note-
break and then that's the first time we've spoken about the wedding because that's the first time I've properly seen you.
Yeah,
since the
no, it's
wedding.
true. Yeah, no,
we
it's
saw
nice
each other on the Sunday morning.
Yeah,
but
just
I
to,
was
like-
leaving as you were arriving.
Yeah, no, well, let's go get a beer.
Let's get another beer.
Let's get a beer.
and then we'll discuss some more things.
Well, I'm sitting here holding a Hitachino Nest Dai Ale, which is a Japanese IPA, which Rayman has very kindly brought over,
It's my pleasure.
and it's a rather squat little bottle, and it is described as having water, malted barley, hops, yeast, and orange peel.
Oh,
It is an imported Japanese beer.
good. 6.2%.
Oh, well, there we go.
It's a strong one.
That's what really matters. Maybe that's why it's a squat little bowl. They don't want you drinking too much. Well, it smells like... it smells bready.
Bready?
Mm.
That's not what you want.
May need a knife.
Yeasty.
Mm. Did you just take a photo?
I did. It's on Twitter now. Although by the time you're listening to this, it will have been on Twitter for some time.
What age we live in?
Isn't it amazing? What else have you been up to, John? Wedding aside.
Well, wedding aside, because we've probably talked about that enough now.
Yes.
Yeah, they married.
They got married. That's the end. They got married.
Get over it.
They're in Italy now.
Oh.
I don't know where in Italy. It could be anywhere.
Oh, it's rather nice, actually. What are you drinking, actually, before we talk about...
Well, my next beer, after my Qing Chao, which is a Chinese beer, which is very nice, which I've had before, I'm going to be drinking a Miller Genuine Draft after that, which is more of your standard...
Only the best.
...beer.
I enjoy Sam Adams. I know it's probably not seen as very classy among American audiences, but I quite like it. It's nice.
We've got it in the pub around the corner, haven't we?
In the brew house.
The brew house.
We should go to the brew house.
We haven't been to the brew house for a while.
No, because I'm technically on holiday now.
Yes.
Lucy and I are going away to Copenhagen on Tuesday.
Nice. Very nice.
So we've got a few days at home, kind of chilling out.
Lovely.
Maxing, relaxing.
Sitting on cool.
We should go to the pub. Be nice.
When? At some point.
I need to check. I'm seeing a couple of shows, like Friday night and tomorrow night, but they're kind of early evening, so we can kind of work something out after that.
Oh, very good. Well, that'll be pleasant.
We'll talk.
We'll talk off air.
But yeah, what's been going on since the wedding? Well,
even before that, since last time we did a podcast was in the garden.
Yes, because we missed...
Which we couldn't do now because it's bloody cold.
Yeah, no, winter is kind of here. We missed one, didn't we? Because we
we thought yeah, exactly. Yeah, we thought we'd do it afterwards because we didn't really have anything new to talk about.
That's fine. It was just getting it was all getting a bit manic in the lead up to the wedding. And,
yes.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, in my day job, I work as an editor, and my immediate kind of boss has been on paternity leave.
Oh.
He's got a new little son.
Very good.
And
congratulations, if you're listening.
If you're listening, boss.
Sir.
I won't name him, sir. And I've been kind of acting into his role while he's been gone. I've been kind of like...
that's very good.
Not really, but, in that same way where, like, not really being his role, but in the same way just kind of like covering stuff in his absence, if you know what I mean. And I feel like they've got their money's worth out of me in the last few weeks. I've been...
Fair enough.
I've been running around.
You and me both, brother.
I've
been manning the fort, which is fine. I'm happy with that.
Good.
But I've been doing other things outside of work.
Well, do tell.
Namely, cleaning the house.
Well, yeah,
you're selling a load of old crap.
You've become quite
thrifty.
A car boot sale fanatic.
Yes,
I would say
car boot sales are great. If you've not been to one or you've not sold at one, you should. Because it's excellent.
Are you clearing out? Would you say?
Well. I started cleaning my house just on a whim, really.
Yeah.
And it's about 2.5 weeks later, and I've made about £300 from just selling old crap that I never used, didn't need.
How do you price up? How do you know?
At a car boot, pretty much you sort of make it up as you go along.
Okay.
To be honest,
and then someone comes and gives you.
You've got an idea of what you want, and then you judge people's reactions. So sometimes if they go, "Yeah, I'll have that," you think, I should have gone in higher.
So what's an item you sold that surprised you?
Well, I took quite a lot of clothes with me to the car boot, and I was going to take some of them out because they were like unironed jumpers, and you couldn't really iron them.
Right.
Like I've tried to iron these jumpers; they're fine, but they're just really creased, and I just couldn't iron them. I tried anyway. I said to Liz, "I'm going to take these out because no one's going to buy them." They went. Oh yeah, they went.
There we go.
So just things like that. I mean, I didn't really not sell anything that I didn't expect to, but we made about 75 quid from that.
That's all right.
So that's pretty good for a morning. Well, it was afternoon. It was 2 hours work, and it wasn't really work.
The there's been a glut for years now. There's been a glut of like daytime TV shows about
selling old.
Shit. Yeah, the course of like car boot champions or. Car boot bonanza or bargain.
Cash in the attic.
Bargain.
But some of them are more antiques, aren't they?
Yeah, like some of them.
A car boot is a car boot, but they always go to houses that happen to have a wealth of old stuff that's worth thousands of pounds.
What was like, if you're in the UK, the kind of like progenitor of it all was something like Bargain Hunt.
Yes.
With David Dickinson.
Well, it was David Dickinson and it was Tim Wonnacott.
He's still doing it, I think.
I think he's still around, yeah.
Yeah, it's still a thing, yeah.
Dickinson went to ITV to do Dickinson's Real Deal. Because I think he likes reading his own name.
But Bargain Hunters was the idea that they go to like a car boot sale.
Done it in Gloucester a few times.
Yeah.
Well, it was more. It's like an antiques fair, I suppose you'd call it.
So they go
which
to
is
like,
basically a
they buy
pricier
something
car boot
and then they
sale
take it to an auction.
and try and sell it for more, and they very rarely do.
Yeah, it was weird, isn't it? But it was always like it was never like big money.
I've never seen anyone make any significant amount of money
It's
on
like
that show.
I bought this for 25 quid and I sold it at auction
But
for
people,
42.
What winds me up about that show, people will buy something at the car boot or the antiques fair, whatever, for 300 quid. 300 quid!
Yeah.
You're not going to make that back, and you heighten your chance of making a big loss.
Yeah,
You're losing.
you wanna
Buy
go
low,
buy
sell
low,
high.
Sell high.
It's easy.
That's just basic economics.
Exactly.
Could have told you that.
Don't buy high and then hope for the best.
Well,
That's words to live by.
here's a fun little fact for you. One of these many shows, these kind of like, family. It was called, I don't know, money game.
Good. I don't think you know the name of the show, John.
No,
if
but
I'm
you know my
honest.
point. They're always like it's always like take buzzword. It's like bargain hunter, cash in the attic, car boot challenge,
Money for old shit.
Yeah, basically like same thing. But this they're trying to think like how can we keep recycling this gimmick? So the kind of pretense of this show was two experts. There's no kind of contestants.
Yeah.
Two experts are competing. They go to a car boot sale. They buy random tat, which they think is kind of like a gem.
Yeah.
So they go like,
And then isn't.
but then it's really weird because then they don't take it to auction. They then try and sell it to experts.
Right. Okay.
So like,
So they'll go to their mate, who's a dealer,
kind of, yeah.
and say, "What will you give me?"
Now they filmed one locally,
Did they?
and
Oh, I know what you're gonna
Yeah.
say. I know what you're gonna say.
Lucy's dad was in. it.
Yeah.
And it was so weird because it was kind of like this
And
lady.
didn't he just
Oh,
tell him to bugger off?
well, this lady, the lady expert, had gone to a car boot sale and she found a trumpet, and she said like, "Oh, it's a beautiful little trumpet. I bet this is worth a lot." It came in a case, and so then the researchers, you can make this. You can make a show like this with your eyes closed. It's nonsense television.
Yeah.
Then the
That's probably why it's on at like 11:30.
Yeah. But the researchers go like, okay, Yellow Pages, we need a local music expert.
Yes.
So they find Lucy's dad who repairs wind instruments, brass instruments, that kind of thing. And so they arrange a setup meeting with him. And
Do they make it look spontaneous?
yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of walk in, and she goes, "So what do you think of this? Isn't this a lovely trumpet?" And he looks at it and he goes, "Well," and she goes like, I saw this watermark on it, and I thought this meant that like it was an original going back to like." He said, "No, it's an imitation." And she's like, "Oh, how can you tell?" He said, "Well, these were made in the thousands. It's like it's not worth anything." And he goes like, "Nice little mouthpiece though."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, is that worth something?" He goes, "Yeah, but it's not a trumpet mouthpiece. That belongs on a corner.
Brilliant.
Like I don't know what else doing there." And she said, "Oh, comes with a case as well." He goes, "I think the case is worth more than the trumpet, actually."
Yeah.
And
Is that what the producers were expecting?
I don't know. But,
Did it make the show?
But to be fair, yes, it
more
did
my
make the
question.
show. But to be fair, the condition I think was that he had to buy it.
Oh, really? So he had to make an offer.
And she was like, "Well, tell you what, how much for the case, and I'll throw in the trumpet for free."
Brilliant.
And he's like, I don't know, 40 quid
40 quid.
or something like that. Like I don't know, I can't remember what he offered. It wasn't like,
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. Is the point
No.
you're making?
and yeah, but it was a sale, and that
Yeah,
the scene is then
I
complete.
see. So it's whoever makes the most money wins.
I think the gimmick was that
That's boring though with two experts.
Yeah.
Inverted commas experts.
but then he got to like.
I'd rather see idiots off the street do it.
Mm.
That's why I like The Apprentice.
But it's like they went to, there's that vineyard near where we went to school. Three
Oh
Choirs.
yeah, no, I do
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
They went to Three because she'd found two bottle pourers. It was a weird little thing.
Like
but-
decanters. sort of
No,
thing.
it's really stupid. It was like you have your bottle of wine and you take the cork
Mm.
out and you go, I don't like the look of that bottle. I want to put something fancy on it. So it was
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
it was like a metal plug
Yeah,
shaped like a
yeah,
knight's
yeah,
helmet,
yeah. No, I
and then
know.
it would pour. It's pointless. But
Pretentious
I'm
people.
becoming a grumpy old man. But they take it to a vineyard because, of course, the logic is, this goes on a wine bottle.
Yeah.
Therefore, a man who owns a vineyard will want to buy it.
That is good logic.
So they have a setup.
That doesn't make any sense, actually.
They have a setup with this guy, and she goes like, as you can see, it's a lovely little.
You should go to a country manor.
Or something like that, or a restaurant. I don't know.
A restaurant would be good because they want to look impressive, and people at the restaurant will go, "Oh, that's very nice, isn't it?" Remember that bar we went to, or restaurant we went to, with the Knight's Head wine bottle, and then they might go back.
Yeah,
you see, it's a gimmick.
You see, I thought you were actually asking me.
Do you?
No, I don't.
That's because we didn't go. But
but
that's the conversation we could have if we had been.
I would have remembered it.
Exactly.
Well. But she goes to a vineyard, and this guy who's running a successful business, producing thousands of bottles of wine, and she goes, "What do you think of these?" And in this incredibly contrived scenario, he goes, "I quite like them. I'll take a few hundred of those."
Oh, that's a bolder dash, I'll say.
But he goes like, "No, I do quite like that." He goes, "I'll take a few hundred." He's like, "Oh, I've only got the 2."
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And he's like, "Oh, it's not worth my time." Well, what he wants to say is, "It's not worth my time, then, is it?" And she goes, "But how much would he give me for them?" Well, $5.
So I can 3D print a load more.
The other guy was weird because the other guy gave the impression, because it was like these 2 experts, but the other expert gave the impression that he maybe lived in his car. And he was kind of like desperately looking
That's how you make your profit. You don't pay any rent or mortgage.
Desperately. It's like, he comes out of a shop because he found a couple of like antique salt and pepper shakers.
Sure.
And he goes like, I reckon I can find a tidy deal on these.
I have an issue with that as a concept. I would consider an antique something that you can't readily acquire now.
Yeah.
In its classical sense.
Yeah.
I can buy salt and pepper shakers, and probably better ones.
True.
For cheaper than I would be able to buy
but could
antique
you,
salt
but what
and
if you
pepper
really
shakers.
wanted like an Art Deco salt and pepper? Yeah.
They're out there.
They're out there.
You can make them yourself.
But he finds...
And if you really want to spend that much money on a salt and pepper shaker, you've got bigger problems.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. Why not buy like if you really want to, throw money away, get like a solid gold salt and pepper shaker.
That would be good.
Well, I don't know.
Too heavy though.
No,
quite heavy for lifting.
I think my kind of thesis here is that this show was nonsense.
Would it react with the salt, the gold?
No, because gold is incredibly neutral.
Is that right?
That's why you can eat it.
Oh, well, it's supposed to be soft, isn't it? Gold,
incredibly soft.
That's why Olympians bite the medals.
To ruin it.
To put their tooth mark in it, basically, to check it's real gold. Well, not to,
Yeah,
they used to anyway.
Yeah, I was assuming they were biting it.
That's why they do it. Though. If you ever see
medal
someone who's won something bite their medal,
that's why
they're biting it.
Yeah, because it. I mean, Lucy's the chemist, but it's why you can eat gold leaf and it will just go through your body and won't hurt you.
Goldschlager,
indeed.
There you go.
But anyway, I will shut up about this antique show. But the final thing, which kind of just cemented it, was kind of like this guy finds 2, like a salt and pepper shaker, and he goes like, "Oh, I bet I can get a tiny little profit on these." So he goes to a restaurant because the junior researcher who's fresh out of college.
Would a restaurant not want uniformity with their salt and pepper shakers? You'd want like
10 sets, wouldn't you? One for each table.
Yeah.
But he goes to this restaurant, comes in, and the guy's waiting at the bar, the owner, and he goes like, "What do you think of these?"
He's randomly there, just at the till, the owner of the business.
The camera's already set up on a tripod.
Yeah. When did this camera get here?
And he comes in and he goes, "So what do you think of these?" And he gives him the salt and pepper shaker. He's never seen them before. And he goes, "Well, they're very nice." He goes, "Would you buy them?" And he goes,
"Suppose I'll have to, really."
He goes, like 20 quid. He goes, he says something like, "I'll give you 10.
And
he goes, "All right," And then he comes out, and the expert comes out, and it's kind of like, and that's for bargaining, and that's for power of haggling, and I just turned a tidy 10 quid, and while I may not have got the 20 quid I wanted, I'm going to go around the back and raid his bins for food, because he's wearing a cravat, but there's a slightly desperate look in his eye.
Then I'm going to put banana skins in my car where the fuel's supposed to go.
Yeah, so look at this wasteful swine. He won't spend 20 quid on a pair of salt cellars, but he'll throw away half a used ham.
Yeah,
and that's a profit,
That sounds like it would wind me up, that show.
Hard cut to him chewing on a bone in the back.
Growling at the production crew.
If you look at this, there's almost a full mouthful of water in this used crisp packet.
Yeah,
I can't believe you threw that away.
I don't care that it's mostly spittle. But anyway, I've not been going to quite that degree. But yes, I've been selling my stuff on eBay and sending it to all these websites that buy old DVDs and what have you.
Yeah, you're having a rant at Music
Magpie are my enemies. If you're listening to this, anyone who wants to exchange their goods and services for money, because why wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. Do not go to Music Magpie.
Oh.
Do not do it. They are worse than useless.
Tell me more.
Well, I'll try and explain it in the least wordy way as possible, but it might not happen. Basically, I was scanning my items because you can scan the barcodes using the apps, and I would scan items in a certain order, and I would be quoted, say, 30p for a DVD.
Yeah.
If I were to scan those items in a different order and scan this item later on,
Yeah.
I would be quoted 10p.
So you've got like 3 items. You've got like a DVD.
Say I've got...
You've got Rush Hour 2, starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
I would never sell that.
You've got The Best of the Bee Gees.
Sure.
And,
This is a very strange collection.
And you've got a box set of
Go on, you.
the Magic Roundabout.
Sure.
And you scan
Again,
them
I've got bigger problems.
You scan
that's
them in
my
that
collection.
order, and it says like that's worth.
So using that as an example, if I were to scan, say, the Bee Gees first,
yeah,
I would be quoted 30p.
Okay.
Say, for example, and I'd scan the Magic Roundabout last, I'd be quoted 10p.
Yeah.
If I were to scan them the other way round, the prices would change.
That's madness.
Yeah. And I pointed this out to them. And I'd done these... it happened accidentally, actually, the way I did this, but I noticed it and I tweeted them.
Yeah.
I said, what's this all about? And they said, oh, it depends on supply and demand, why our prices change. I said, these scans were done literally 3 minutes apart. How many copies of this did you acquire in those 3 minutes?
What happened?
And I got a basically a template back saying, please email our complaints department on whatever address. So I did.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a reply. I have, however, had several marketing emails encouraging me to complete my order. So they have, over the last couple of weeks, they've got quite a lot of abuse from me on Twitter. Do not use Music Magpie. You can quote me on that, and you can tell them I told you.
What happened to the stock market in those 3 minutes to make the value?
I didn't know there were that many copies of Frasier Season 7, to be honest, to affect the market that much.
There's only 2.
yeah.
At any one time.
But you know what I mean? That's just, it's underhand.
Yeah.
Because there's a £5 threshold
Yeah.
for a minimum order or minimum they'll give you.
Oh.
So they're obviously trying to get more bang for their buck. That's obviously what's happening.
Do you reckon?
But I've caught them out.
I was trying to work out. Do you reckon like there is actually some?
Do not use Music Magpie. Chris Ray, 2016.
Do you reckon they do actually have some kind of algorithm doing calculations?
Probably.
Or is it more like they know what it's worth, but then they have like a randomizer which acts like?
The thing is, these plays, all of them, and some of them are all right. All of them will buy very cheap. You're not going to get an awful lot for any of these sort of things.
No.
Which is fine. You've got to accept that if you want to sell these things.
Yeah.
But to do what they're doing is very underhanded for a company that is spending a lot of money on television advertising.
But it's a good point though, because you probably just wouldn't notice. Like if you hadn't like scanned it twice.
I did it. It was accidental,
to
be honest, that I discovered it. But it's happening.
Yeah.
And the more people know about it, the better.
And at the end of the day, it's probably not like.
And they haven't replied to my complaint, by the way. Yeah. They still haven't replied.
They're probably not making a killing on it, but like it adds up, doesn't it? Like if every person.
But it doesn't affect them. But it affects poor sods like me who are trying to make a few quid.
It's weird, isn't it?
So it's not right in my personal view, and they deserve to be called out on it. There are some good ones though, like Game Exchange is quite good. Zapper, Ziffit, We Buy Games. They're all very good.
We Buy Any Car?
Yeah, if you are selling your car.
Yeah.
But they were very responsive to my emails. They were very helpful.
Very nice.
So if you're going to do that sort of thing, I would suggest using those people, not Music Magpie.
I'm trying to think if I've got anything else to report. We have Sandwich Masters is currently on a little holiday. Our card game.
It's on holiday?
As in, a very kind gentleman named David has taken it over to Essen in Germany for Spiel, which is the world's largest board game. World's largest board game convention.
Is Spiel game?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Is Spiel.
Yeah.
To play.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, so he's very kindly out there being our spokesperson and promoting it to people.
That's nice.
Could lead to something, you never know.
What's in it for him?
He's looking to kind of do this kind of thing. Like he's also a game developer, but he's looking to kind of be a spokesperson and kind of an agent, and we're kind of like his test case.
Really. Oh, that's
so
good.
We're mutually
that sounds
helping
very promising. I didn't know that.
And he's a very nice guy.
Oh, wonderful.
As well. I also very nearly ended up writing for a game. Another game.
A different game.
A different game.
Secret Super Ninja Project.
Yes, it's a Secret Super Ninja Project, which I
We can't talk about it, John.
It's weird.
We can't talk about it.
No, I'm going to be good. I'm not going to talk about it because I didn't sign an NDA, but at the same time, I'm not going to.
You don't want to scupper it.
But I think it'll be out in November anyway, so I think we'll be able to talk about it.
We can talk about it shortly, but don't scupper anything.
But I very nearly ended up doing some work for a second project.
Is that right? Yeah. Can you talk about this one?
I think call it something else. Yeah, no. For what it's worth, I won't name them, if only because I don't think it would mean anything. But some game developers were doing a shout out on Twitter.
Oh yes,
and they were like
a shout out,
as in saying we need a writer, please contact us.
I understand.
And a friend of a friend of a friend, of a friend was retweeting it, and I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, and I was like, and you ignore it. You see, oh well, it's cool, and then you kind of spin on. I was like, well, hang on a minute, that does look cool. And why don't I
have a look?
Why don't I try?
Have a closer look.
So I dropped him a line, and I just said like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. And we ended up chatting, and we've been chatting for a few weeks, and got very close, actually.
Good.
Weird situation where I really thought it was going to go ahead.
Yeah.
But then I think the biggest problem was they had absolutely no money left.
That is an issue.
It is, and while I was willing to kind of lower you
can't work
prices.
For free, John. It's just not practical.
No, and that was the thing. Like, because I kind of I did like the project and would have very much liked to have been involved. It was like a kind of adventure game, kind of like comedy stylings. And as part of like the, it wasn't really like an audition thing, but they asked me to do. They were like, they said at one point, look, we think we've narrowed it down to a couple of people. Could you write us like a funny little skit? They said like, here's a scenario. Can you run with it?
Yeah.
And I came up with something, and they said they really liked it. But the final thing was they said, look, how low would you be willing to go
they asked
on your prices?
Yes.
And I said, look, that's very hard for me to say. I need to know
What's
much work
What's your budget?
Yeah, I said, how much work is involved? Maybe it'd be better if you just told me how much money you have.
Yeah.
Like, what are you willing to spend on it?
Yeah.
And then they didn't talk to me for a week. And then when I followed up on it, they said, we don't think we can afford you. So...
Well, that is a compliment of sorts.
I think in a kind of way, and we said we may work together in the future. I just don't think they'd ever really budgeted to have a writer.
Perhaps they didn't expect such a response.
Well, the weird thing is the game is actually nearly like 99% done. Like, it's almost ready to go out. I think they said as much, like
spent all their budget on it.
Yeah, I think they said we just got to this point and we kind of underestimated. We thought we could write it ourselves.
It's proving tricky.
Yeah, but it's nice in a way. But like. Yeah, it's a shame. I would have liked to be involved with it, but maybe down the line, you never know.
The thing is, some people, and maybe in previous years, you would have been one of these people, would just say, "Oh, I'll just do it."
Yeah,
for the exposure. But you're in a not more comfortable. You know what I mean? You're in a better position where you don't need to do that.
But it's weird. I'm certainly getting to a point where I'm having like a bit more like pride. You know what I mean? Like a bit more kind of like self-pride, where you can say like, well, actually.
Well, you're a talented writer, John, if you don't mind me saying.
Well, that's very kind, Raymond.
You should be charging
You can
for
come
your
up to
time.
my house and give me beer and say nice things anytime.
We've been friends for 25 years. We were drinking beer back then. But no, that's true.
But no,
it's like I would charge for a service that I am an expert in.
Mm.
I don't know what that service might be, but
you're a freelancer in your role as well, in your job. And...
I'm now full time.
Oh well,
but
I apologise for forcing you to disclose your
my employment status.
Yeah,
damn it.
But no, I think
committed to take now.
It's something that's maybe happened in like the last couple of months. I think we've actually got to a point where, and we've all been noticing it, where suddenly, I'm not going to say it's come with like, golden towers and wealth and diamond toilets,
golden salt shakers,
but it's just been like suddenly, we've almost kind of noticed a degree of recognition suddenly, where people are like, oh yeah,
I know you,
they're Big Punch, or
Big
like
Punch Studios.
And it was kind of weird to like be dealing with these guys and who were lovely people, and for them to kind of think, oh, like we don't think we can afford you. Like you're almost like above
because they've heard of you.
Well, they seem I don't know if they'd heard of us.
They
before,
respect you as an individual.
But when because normally I talk to people and they say, "What do you do?" and I'm always a bit like,
I dabble.
I dabble. I feel kind of like ashamed to kind of call myself a writer. But now I'm actually reaching a point where I'm like, yeah, I think I'm actually okay with saying that I'm a writer.
Well, there you go. You've been doing it long enough, John.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Happy days.
Yeah, I mean, it feels nice to kind of be a bit more comfortable in that regard.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
I won a competition.
Did you?
Final bit of news.
Tell me more.
Well, I've been reminded about it because I'm looking at a Funko Pop behind your shoulder.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I won a Funko Pop competition.
Your love of merchandising. Yeah.
I do. I'm trying to get as much free stuff as possible. I did an unboxing video because it's all the rage now. Unboxing videos, and I was a runner-up in the Funko Pop in a Box competition.
Right.
What's funny about that?
No, I just
Because I hassled them on Twitter, basically.
So what? You got like a?
I collect Star Wars Pop Funko.
But did you
Funko
win,
Pop.
or did you kind of like get?
I was
like
runner-up.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I was first runner-up.
Oh, cool. Well,
I was one winner and 2 runners-up,
cool.
and I was a runner-up.
Yeah, because
So I got a free Funko Pop of my choice.
Oh.
So I chose the one I wanted, and then the one I chose turned up in my subscription.
Oh.
So I just chose a different one.
Oh.
Which is
good.
fine.
Well, that's
no,
nice,
I've
yeah.
sorted it. It's all sorted.
Yeah, because
that was good.
You subscribe to one of these kind of monthly.
It's Pop in a
crates,
Box, so
don't
you choose the ones you like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get a surprise every month, and you can get one up to about 8 a month, I think.
Oh.
I get 2. And yeah, I entered an unboxing competition, which is on YouTube if you'd like to see it. You probably don't.
I've seen your first one.
Yeah, that's the only one.
That's
that's
the only
what I
one.
won a prize for.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's why you recorded it.
Yeah, pretty much. So that will be turning up in the post anytime now. So that'll be good. So that was a nice start to last weekend.
Are they always Star Wars themed?
They don't know. There's loads of different ones.
Because I know you go for the Star
I
Wars.
only go for Star Wars because that's my bag.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts. There's Power Rangers now. There's obviously Marvel.
Oh, I mean, sorry, no. I meant like
Oh.
this service you can get.
No.
all kinds
This
of
is
stuff.
this is every single pop going.
Oh, cool.
So you just select on the website what ones you like,
Yeah.
or what ones you want. You tick boxes basically, and then you get the delivery based on your choices. It's very good.
Speaking of Power Rangers, have you seen the trailer for them?
I have seen the trailer.
It's interesting.
I have issues with it.
Tell me more.
I liked the old Power Rangers.
I like the old Power Rangers as well.
It reminds me of when I was a kid.
Do you think the thing that like struck me as kind of odd, well, not odd, but maybe like as a commentary, I find it interesting that like if they told that story in the 90s and it was like 5 clean-cut
Teenagers with attitude.
teenagers with attitude,
Yeah,
cool
They
kids.
didn't really have much of
But
an
you know what I
attitude.
mean? Like they would like.
I don't even know what attitude meant.
They
in that
hung
case.
out at their local juice bar. They did recycling.
They always wore the same colour, which was a massive giveaway.
Yeah, it was a massive giveaway. You know, like when they weren't being saving a world, they were being upstanding members of their community.
They played sports and helped the kids.
They were
and-
always helping children.
Yeah.
In this,
Zach used to give them dance lessons.
in the modern retelling,
They're badasses.
they're all like delinquents. They're all
Are
kinda
they?
like- well, was that not? That was the gimmick
I
of the
don't
trailer.
know. Maybe I watched the wrong trailer.
They'd all been sent to like
I
juvie,
remember
like, kind
is
of,
the suits looked like it was the Iron Man bleeding armor. What bleeding cool?
yeah.
Armor. Doesn't he have armor that comes out of his veins?
I'm actually really impressed that you know that. Did
Yeah.
that-
I know
yeah.
that.
Did that come out of a comic?
I read it in a book.
I read it.
I read it
book.
on the internet.
Yes. Oh well, bravo. Yes,
But it
the
looked like
extremist
that.
armor. Yeah, kind of cool. I'm intrigued that we've seen a lot of I want to say like CGI representations of them. Yet.
Thing is with these movies, and I'm basing this on Michael Bay films,
Yeah. Huh.
Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I realised they're both Michael Bay films.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Yes.
And it reminded me of those films.
Interesting.
The trailer.
I didn't. Now it's a weird thing. Like I didn't hate it. I worry that in trying to be edgy, they may
doesn't
lose
need-
some of the inherent cheese.
The problem
that made
is
it great.
with a lot of films, and this isn't necessarily leveled at Power Rangers film, everything's a reboot now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the charm of what I remember about, we'll use Power Rangers as an example,
Yeah.
is that it was very 90s.
Yes.
And now you can't really,
Yeah.
what's the word? Bridge that gap
Yeah.
between now and then without compromising
I think
a lot.
It's something you see in comics a lot, but I put, because me and Nick talk about Power Rangers a lot because we're weird, but I genuinely think that the original Power Rangers costume designs are brilliant.
They're awesome.
Like, yeah, it's a guy in a spandex suit, gloves and a helmet.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
cheesy,
talking original Power Rangers
Yeah.
here. Forget
Which
all the
is-
rest of them.
which was like we saw the Japanese based on Super Sentai, the Japanese series, which we also watched a couple of episodes of, and it's very good.
It's on Netflix, by the way, original Power
Yeah.
Rangers, if you haven't watched it.
Is it really? I
Oh, yeah, they're all on there, yeah.
I know a lot of them are. Like
Mighty
we watched
Morphin.
like a random episode of like
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
No, I think pretty much
Spleen
every
Force or something
single
like that. Yeah.
episode is on there. Certainly the original ones.
Yeah. But the costumes were striking and bold, and yes, it's a guy in a leotard, but whatever. They looked cool.
They don't offer a lot of protection.
But now
they're probably made out.
But now there's this idea that you can't do the same thing twice. So my point is, like, they kind of got it right the first time. So now they redesign the costumes, and they all look like they're made of glitter. Yeah, I've not seen that.
Yeah.
Like, up close, all the costumes are kind of like sparkly.
Probably they are.
I'm like, but they don't need to be. Could it not just, like, they want to make him look like Iron Man, that's cool. But, like,
they do look a lot like Iron Man in the pictures.
They just look like kind of Dayglow nightmares rather than, you know,
I probably
striking and
will
bold.
not go and watch it in the cinema, if I'm totally honest.
I might.
Yeah.
I might. Have you seen Chronicle?
No.
Do you know what Chronicle is?
No.
Oh, I'll keep it brief. But Chronicle is kind of like, it's filmed on like handheld cameras.
Right.
And the idea is that 3 kids, or teenagers, whatever, find a bizarre object underground.
I see.
It gives them superpowers.
Oh.
So they all gain telekinetic powers and become like super strong.
Sure.
And then they just do whatever teenagers with superpowers would do.
Rob banks.
No. They pull pranks on people. They go flying.
I would do that.
You know,
I wouldn't rob banks.
And the idea is that they film it all with cameras.
Yeah.
And then one guy goes
GoPros.
evil. One guy goes evil.
Oh, sure.
Spoilers.
Sure.
Yeah. But it made me feel, it reminded me of Chronicle. And that they're trying to, like, do it. This is real.
Yeah.
Like, this is really happening, you know, and all these kids are badasses. And, you know, I didn't hate it, but they've got to win me over.
Yeah.
Now. They got my interest. No, they got my attention. They've not got my interest. Yeah.
My concern, again, this is a general comment rather than just parody, is nobody can leave anything the hell alone.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Stop rebooting things. Even The Jungle Book, which was excellent, the live action.
I did not see it.
Yes, now. They're doing them all now.
Yeah.
They're doing Beauty and the Beast.
Mulan.
Is it Guy Ritchie's going to do Aladdin or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But the thing is, like...
Leave it alone!
But this is the thing. We are still in the tail end of the economic crisis. And no one will take risks.
No one's got any original... Well, maybe they have got original ideas, but no one's willing to take a risk on an original idea.
Well, to be fair, the creative people might have those ideas, but people with the money, the producers...
The thing is, they know Marvel films will do well. They know DC films will do well.
Yeah.
As much as they are critically panned.
Yeah.
Will do well. Star Wars will do well.
But it's entirely recognition.
That's the problem.
But
which is why they're not willing to take a risk on something new.
But truthfully, like, I mean,
or
look,
book.
there's going to be
most things are based on a book.
There's going to be a
as
Trolls movie.
Oh, jeez.
Based on the toys.
Oh,
it's one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. There's going to be a emoji movie.
Jeez. There was an Angry Birds movie, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But
who owns the concept of emojis? Who's copyrighted that? Samsung? Apple?
Who invented emojis?
Well, that's my question.
Haven't they always been around?
Yeah.
They were called emoticons when I was younger.
Now they're called emojis.
Showing my age.
But
they were called emoticons.
I saw the first screenshot from the emoji movie.
That sounds
today.
awful.
Yes.
Honest. Ugh. But kids will go watch that. That's the
Tetris
point.
Tetris movie.
At the box office, that will be a huge hit.
They're making a Tetris movie.
Why?
I don't know.
What's that going to be about?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. It's killing me.
Anyway.
Recognition. Movies. But we just saw the Rogue One second
we did.
trailer.
During the break, we watched the Rogue One trailer.
And
that looks good.
It does look good.
But I'm biased, but it does look good.
But you know what's weird? Because I like Star Wars. I do. Yeah, I like the good ones, obviously. I loved them as a kid. I've been kind of turned off it, I feel, by the kind of just mass hysteria around it.
Yeah.
But I remember watching the original trailer for Rogue One. And around the time... Who's the evil dude in the cape?
In Rogue One, Krennic, he's called.
Krennic. Around with the white cape.
Yeah.
Around the time he turned up, I was like, ooh.
Played by Ben Mendelsohn.
I don't know him.
No, I don't actually. Until now.
But you know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure he's been in some things.
I said it earlier, and I you know, before we were recording, and I don't want my comments to be misinterpreted, but like, it seems like a real movie.
Yes.
By which I mean that it looks like it was shot like by a cinematographer and not like a businessman like George Lucas.
But you could say that about The Force Awakens.
Which is what I did. And I remember seeing, when I saw the Force Awakens trailer, I was like, this is like Star Wars, but made by a real
actual
filmmaker.
director.
Yeah. Like,
well, it's... we won't get into Star Wars again,
No.
because I could bang on all night, but it's not entirely shocking that they basically ditched all of George's ideas, which he sold. He sold them the ideas.
Yeah.
But they just wanted the brand.
Yeah.
He sold them everything.
Yeah, and they ignored his ideas.
And it was based on the grandchildren.
Yeah. But it's like, even like Force Awakens, I thought was all right. But like, you know,
I'm happy with the idea of the thing is with it now, it's going to be relentless until you die.
Yeah,
basically, and maybe
that's my
even
only
after
worry.
that.
That might be too much of a good thing.
It's going to be a film every year, pretty much. Whether it's episodic, as they're calling them now,
I feel like,
or a standalone.
I feel like Marvel were lucky because they were the first to do it.
Marvel have lots of that's
so they're
true.
always going to get a lot.
But they
of
have an
goodwill.
awful lot of characters to draw on.
Yes, but I feel I worry that there will be an overload. Because I
the
love
thing
Marvel.
is, eventually people will stop caring.
I know
eventually they will.
I know people just like not give a toss when the the Champions movie comes out.
I don't know what that is.
Exactly, but
the thing is, the ones they've done so far are characters I've heard of Marvel previously, and that's again the whole recognition thing. But eventually, whether maybe this Champions or whatever it's called,
will
become.
I was being
I
facetious,
know, but will become popular, and then they can make a movie because of the riding off the popularity of these films.
They're very good. They made Guardians of the Galaxy a thing.
Everyone loves that film.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
It is a good film.
Yeah, I heard that. I was just listening to a podcast and they were talking about at San Diego, they showed a trailer for Thor 3.
Yeah,
with the Hulk in it.
That's not out though, is it?
No, that hasn't released. They've managed to keep
the
that
Thor with his mate Gareth or whatever he's called.
Yeah,
that was funny.
But no, it was Thor. I don't know how they've kept this from leaking. But Thor
that is
trailer
impressive, actually.
featuring...
Maybe they took their phones off them as you went in. That's the only way to stop these things leaking out is to take people's phones off them.
But they also had a trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
If they try and take it. Did they?
Which hasn't leaked. And in this podcast, they said it was the same level of euphoria in the crowd as when a new Star Wars movie is announced.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much that movie resonated with people.
To be fair, speaking of spoilers, when The Force Awakens came out, they basically pled with people. Or pleaded with people.
Pleaded, yeah.
Pled?
Plowed.
With people, please don't spoil it.
Please don't spoil it.
There were signs up in bars.
Yeah.
There's a bar around the corner from our cinema called Apres. And there were signs up in Apres saying, please don't talk about Star Wars because you'll spoil it for us. That was the level of keep it quiet you were getting to, which is pretty impressive, really. I think in today's day and age.
Just like one thing I want to say is like
people ruining things.
I liked, I liked Force Awakens. Like, it didn't rock my world, but it was a very good movie.
We spoke about this on Saturday, actually, didn't we?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good movie, but did we?
Briefly.
Oh god, I don't remember that. It must be. It's a good movie, but it was like a good Star Wars movie. By which I mean there are certain things you expect in a Star Wars movie.
Yes, it hit the right plot points.
But with Rogue One, and I've got to say, I was very impressed by the trailer. You see this trailer, and it's like I recognize all the things I'm seeing.
Yeah,
but the tone, the cinematography, everything
visually, and Nick said it while we were watching it. It looks amazing.
Like it looks good.
Yeah,
like it doesn't look cartoony or fake in any way. Like it kind of
it's Star Wars, but not Star Wars.
Yeah, it's
that's
curious,
pretty. That's
actually
for me quite exciting.
Yeah, is it? Who's the actor in it? The guy who's got like a robotic leg or something.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker overacting, eating.
Loves it, doesn't he?
What would you become? You're right, Forrest. You got something in your throat.
Well, based on the latest trailer, he doesn't have any legs, so he's probably got an injury or two.
I smoke a lot.
Yeah.
He was apparently a character in
the Rebels TV show.
Series?
Not Rebels, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. There we go.
One of them.
I've not seen it.
I've not seen it. No.
But apparently, if you care about such things,
he's the same character. Saw Gerrera is the character's name.
Bless you.
Thank you. Apparently, is the character.
I had some cream for that.
Yeah. Well, it's very unpleasant. But yeah, no, it's all. Anyway, there's movies.
Movies. I think we've
covered movies. That's movies sorted.
Next episode.
What's the next episode? What are we going to tackle next?
Politics and sexism.
Oh, I'm not talking politics.
No, it's killing me.
Holton will get involved with that, and that'll be a nightmare.
Oh, good grief! I have a live cast of Holton involved.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it.
Oh, look at that. We've gone.
Are we bang on?
Bang on. It's perfect. Slightly over.
That's fine.
Well,
People could have switched off if they
I
were.
think it's been quite a fun episode, actually.
I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed
We're
it too.
We're in the studio for the first time.
Yeah, we should have said we got kicked out of the lounge because the team were eating downstairs. But yeah, we're up in the studio.
I've enjoyed it here in the studio.
I like it. We get to look at each other when we record.
Well, that's been fine.
It's nice. But no, I mean, I've wrapped up work. I'm about to go on a holiday, and this is like a nice little, draw a line under it.
Well, wonderful.
When next we meet in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back from our holiday. I think Lucy and I will take the podcast machine with us abroad.
Oh,
record
some interludes.
Record a morning coffee in Denmark.
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
That's got a novelty factor attached to it.
Cool, yeah. A travel log, if you will.
Do it. That sounds wonderful. I'll listen to that.
Grand. Well,
that's it.
Should we say goodbye?
Let's say goodbye.
Well, in time-honoured fashion, thank you for listening, everyone. And Yusuke Classy.
Saint Diego.
This podcast, and others like it, is made possible thanks to our wonderful backers on Patreon. To support Big Punch Studios as we make comics like Alkaline Thinking 7-String, games like Sandwich Masters, and podcasts like the one you've just been listening to, head on over to www.patreon.com/Big Punch Studios. For just $5 a month, not only will you help make everything we do a reality, but we'll also send you 4 copies of Big Punch magazine a year. That's over 180 full-colour pages of comic action, featuring Cuckoos, Orb, 99 Swords and Catamaran, delivered straight to your door. This has been a Big Punch Studios production. For all things Big Punch, be sure to head on over to www.bigpunchstudios.com.